So a few standing stretches, and these are the things that we do pretty much every session here at the Soma Space. Simple ways to stretch the body out. I'm going to begin with my feet about hip width apart, and very simply, hands come up in the air, and I'm going to come down to a forward fold here. I'm trying to make my legs as straight as possible, trying to touch my toes here. If you can touch your toes, great. If you can't get that far down, don't really worry about it. You'll notice here the stretch in the backs of the legs here. And then very gently, I'm going to wind my spine up and come back to standing. And seeing as we're now in a standing position, I'm going to think about rolling my shoulders backwards. Very important if you spend a lot of time at a desk or driving a car. And then we're going to have the hands back up in the air again. Maybe take a look at them and again come down to the forward fold. We're hinging at the waist here. We're trying to stretch out the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. See if you can just pulse a little bit further and then wind it up back to standing one more time. And this time we're going to roll the shoulders forward. As you're doing this, think about isolating the shoulders instead of rolling the arms or moving the arms. We're just thinking about the shoulder joint here. Maybe try a few alternating forwards and then alternating backwards. Give your arms a bit of a shake. Next thing I'm going to do is put my hands on my hips. My feet are still about hip width apart. Hands on the hips, and I'm going to make some circles, hip rotations here. Shifting my hips all the way around, seeing where the limit is. With all these stretches, it's important to simply discover where the limit of your flexibility is and not to go beyond it. Hip rotations in one direction. And then I'm going to do hip rotations in the other direction as well. Next thing, I'm going to return to my position. My feet are about hip width apart. And I'm going to lace the fingers together and push through the palms. Bring the hands above the head and lift everything. Push through the palms. And from this position, I'm going to turn to one side just to see where I can get to, twisting the spine. And then I'm going to come back to center, and I'm going to twist to the other side, just to see where I can get to, kind of bouncing against my limit there. And then I'm going to come back to center again, and this time I'm going to bend to one side. And back to center, and then a big bend to the other side. You'll feel the big stretch down the side of the body. And then back to center, and then drop the arms. Give your arms a bit of a shake there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come into a slightly wider stance here, and I'm going to make the same position with my hands. Lace my fingers together, push through the palms, and above the head. And what we're going to do is make big circles like this, bringing the palms of the hand over the feet, up one side, back to the top, turning at the waist, bringing them down. Palms go across the feet, turning at the waist as I come back up, and across the top. And one more circle, down, across the feet, turning at the waist, and then back to center. And then we're going to do the same thing the other way around. So keep pushing through your palms. And let's go down this side, turning at the waist. And turning at the waist again to come back up. And then as we go down, the palms are coming over the feet. And then back up the other side. And one more circle here. Making these big circles. And then return to the starting position. Hands come down by the sides. Give your hands and arms a bit of a shake here. With this movement, we're thinking about stretching all the way around as well as turning at the waist, twisting. Next movement we're going to do, we're going to stay in this quite wide position, and what I'm going to do is turn one of my feet out facing over here, and then I'm going to lift my back heel and I'm going to sink down into a lunge position. It might be good to put your hands on your knee just for stability. Sink, see where you can get to. You'll feel the stretch in the thigh here. If you can get your knee on the floor, that's great. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just see where you can get to in the lunge. Try and keep your torso raised. And then back up, back to standing. I'm going to swap over. And this time I'm going to sink down again. The heel of my back foot is raised. Hands on the knees for stability. Trying to keep the torso raised. And again, just bounce there. If you can get your knee on the floor, great. If you can't, don't worry. And stretching into the lunge a bit, and then come back to standing. Give everything a bit of a shake. You're perhaps feeling a bit looser, a bit warmer now. Last couple of standing stretches. Again, I'm starting with my feet hip width apart, and I'm going to bring my hands up to chest height, palms facing down, and the first thing I'm going to do is bring my elbows back. Then I'm going to return my hands to the starting position, and this time extend my arms all the way back. And then the hands come back, elbows come back, and back to the starting position. Let's go through it again. Hands are in the starting position, elbows come back, hands return to the starting position, and then arms fully extended all the way. And once you've got this movement, you can turn it into quite a nice flowing upper body stretching routine. You'll feel the stretch across the top of the chest and also across the top of the back. And if you want to be really flamboyant with this, you can try turning your palms up, and one more time. Very last stretch. We're going to cover this in one of the other playlists, but we're just going to do a few very, very simple and gentle squats. So here, again, I want my feet about hip width apart. And all we're going to do is bring the hands out to the front. This is mainly for balance, but just think about pushing the hips back, bending the knees, coming into your squat. Only go down to wherever you're most comfortable. Sink down, and then come back up. Just to work the squatting movement a little bit more. Important thing with this movement is just to go to where you feel comfortable and no further. A couple more. And one more. And there we are. We've worked through a series of standing stretches.